Well, I'll talk about it a lot today, but it's more of a mental approach, okay? We all just want to catch fish, right? We all just want to go out there and jack on them all day. But in a tournament mode, tournament perspective, which I do every weekend, how do you get that bigger bite? And that's what we're going to talk about. How do you get that bigger bite? Guys like that right there. And I'm not kidding. Guys like that right there. Believe it or not, these 12, 13-inch baits, believe it or not, I've caught more 3-pounders on this thing than, I don't know. I mean, a 3-pounder will eat that right there. A 4-pounder will eat that. Those are the kickers we're talking about. Again, it's a mental state. It's going out there and saying, I got this 9-pound limit. It's 12 o'clock. I got 3 hours to weigh in. You know, this worm, I'm tired of rigging this worm and catching all these fish. What do? We buckle down and we say, I'm going to throw that the rest of the day. And if I get a bite, I'm going to win by 7 pounds. This is one of the big things that these big glide baits, or even, you know, the regular boot style swim baits, these baits have tremendous drawing power. And what I mean by that is we're in February right now. The spawn, pre-spawn, March and April, prime time around the full moon. We've all been there when we're going into a cove, or going into a backwater, clear backwater area, and we're starting to see these fish, you know. We're starting to see them either cruise or bedding, pre-spawn style fish. This time of year, going all the way through the spawn, if I throw that guy right there, and a lot of times I don't even want to bite. I don't want him to bite it. If I'm practicing or I'm scouting around, I'll throw this thing straight down that cove, that cut, that spawning area that we know of, that pre-spawn area that we know of, and I'll just wind this sucker out. And this thing's gonna glide back and forth, 14 to 16-inch strides, back and forth and back and forth. And those big, giant pre-spawn 6, 7, 8-pounders, not the spotted bass, those big largemouth, they see that thing coming a mile away, and they are so curious to that bait right there because it's not a spinnerbait profile, it's not a jig profile, it's not a jerkbait profile. That thing is a big chunk of meat right there, and they have to look at it. They have to come out and look at this thing. These fish are going to be bedding down here soon. Anything that size, they want out of there. That right there, baby carp, gizzard shad, baby bass, bluegill. It just has tremendous drawing power. Wherever that fish is hunkered down, you throw that thing right down the middle, glide it out of there, and it pulls them out of the cover, man. And it's the coolest thing to see. And they draw to it, you know. And a lot of times, again, I don't want that fish to bite. I just want to see where it came from, where I could turn around, you know, 30 minutes later, come back, pitch a jig to that spot. There's that 8-pounder. So again, a great tool, search tool. We call it a search tool. It gives up their location. It's great when that fish eats it because it's a lot of fun reeling it in. But a lot of times it's got that great drawing power, and it shows. It gives away their location for you to drop a waypoint, circle back, and throw something finessey or just a plain jig in there. So excellent drawing power. It shows you a lot. And again, it's got the unmatched natural profile. There's no other bait out there that's got that profile. You know, realistic. This is a Megabass Mag Draft, one of my favorites. It's got a little magnet in the belly that helps hold the treble style hook. This is the 8-inch version. It's got teeth marks all over it. Really cool bait. Catch a lot of 3, 4, 5, 6-pounders on it. But it's just got an unmatched profile. It's real tall. A lot of baits, you know, you'll see like a Senko, like a 7-inch Senko or something like that. It's real thin, or a big giant fluke. It's real thin shaped. This one's got the real high back. Actually, the 185 size, the smaller size, you could actually, with one jerk of the rod, this thing will do a 360-degree turn, which is kind of unique. Something different. Again, I'm always looking for something different. I don't like throwing the traditional 1/2-ounce chartreuse and white double-bladed spinnerbait, double-willow spinnerbait. Love showing them something different. Good question. Hatch, match, catch. The fish hatches on that lake you're in, you match it, and you catch the fish there. This is a really cool example of this mag giraffe, one of the mag giraffes that I actually grabbed a couple of Sharpies and I mimicked this yellow perch. I was just on Lake Martin a couple weeks ago. I was told they put yellow perch in Lake Martin. That's why these spots are getting so big. So details matter. Details matter in this game. You know, the tag end of your knot, you know, I like it trimmed real nice and neat. The hook points, make sure your hook points are super sharp. The details of the bait, details matter. So this one here, you can't really tell, but I actually doctored it up with some green and yellow, a little bit of orange to match that yellow perch exactly. Look for those clues. You know, a lot of times too, if I'm in a tournament situation or, you know, pre-fishing or whatever, you know, when I put a fish in the live well, I'm going to study that live well. That's one of the best things you could do in matching the hatch is, you know, at the end of the day, open up that live well. How big are the you know, they all regurgitate these fish, these crawdads or whatever. How big is the crawdad? How big are those pinchers? What color are the pinchers? How big is the backbone on that thing it just regurgitated? About how, you know, lay it out there. How long is it? Let's match that almost identically. Increase our chances of landing that 5+ pound fish, that kicker fish. Make sure it looks real.
Welcome to Bass University TV, an online video training course where you'll learn champion bass fishing techniques from pro anglers Pete Glusek, Mike Iaconelli, and their talented special guests. From on the water to in the classroom, you'll learn sound techniques and strong fundamental bass fishing skills. Watch hours of video content on multiple topics at your own pace for a low monthly fee. Cancel at any time. Information is power in the sport of fishing, so learn from the very best. Subscribe to Bass University TV today.